Hi, good to see you again. In this video, I'm going to run you through a personality test. So I'll actually be taking the test and I'll give my commentary as I do that. Now, the reason is because I believe you can't learn enough about personality tests and personality types. And I would suggest that you start with Myers Briggs type tests first to get like a grounding, and then explore the big five, and then fine-tune your personality distinctions with the NLP Meta Programs. And keep in mind that you should also learn how to elicit and recognize values, especially political values and moral values. So let's go and take the test. So we're at personalityhacker.com, run by Joel and Antonia. Free personality test. There are 8 styles of genius. What's yours? 60 questions, 10 minutes, instant results. So they give you a little video.
Hey, welcome to the Personality Hacker Genius Style Assessment or online test, basically to determine your personality. It's going to take about 10 minutes to take this test. So set aside between 10 and 15 minutes, and it's going to go through a series of questions you're going to answer. And at the end, we're going to give you the results of your personality. Now, one of the keys to this is to answer authentically to yourself, what you believe is the authentic answer. And oftentimes this is the first thing that kind of comes up for your gut, or the first thing that you initially think when you read a question. Try to really eliminate any outside influence. Anytime you can think, well, my friends would classify me as this, or my parents would see me as this, or my spouse.
So the thing about personality tests is that most of them will force a response. They want you to make a choice between one or the other. Now, if you're an extremist type personality, then it's no problem. But if you're more centrist, like myself, then it can be a bit of a challenge because you have to really think. So keep in mind the context. Keep in mind the context that you have in mind when you're answering the question. Like, what are the thoughts which come to mind? So are you thinking about a personal relationship? Are you thinking about family situation? Are you thinking about a work context? Or something even broader than that? Are you thinking about like on a national level or a political level or a global scale? And you got to answer truthfully for yourself. So it's not what you think others might think of you or say you are, but it's your own authentic response. So let's take the test now. Genius Style Assessment. Questions 1 of 3. Welcome to the Personality Hacker Genius Style Assessment. Here are a couple of tips. The assessment is all about preference, so there are no right or wrong answers. The assessment is designed to find your natural talents, so choose the answers that come closest to how you are naturally. With some questions, you may feel that neither answer is accurate for you. That's actually okay. Just choose the answer that comes closest. With some questions, you may feel that both answers apply to you. That's okay too. Just choose the answer that applies more, even if it's only slightly more. So they're forcing you to make a choice. It should take less than 20 minutes to complete the assessment. Hey, they said it was going to take 10 minutes. Now it's going to take 20. Anyway, have fun, Antonia and Joel. So, my friends say that I am easy to read and get to know. I don't know. Somewhat private and difficult to read. I value realism and common sense. Oh, Jesus. Innovation and imagination. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. I'm a very creative person. So the reason why I'm going, is because when it comes to like society, national world, I'm very much into realism, common sense. But when it actually comes to the way I think, it's all about innovation and imagination. So this is where, like out there in the real world, it depends on the context. So people might think that I'm very much about, a creator type personality, but politically you'll see that I probably move towards realism. 3, I enjoy receiving respect more than appreciation. Appreciation more than respect. Do I like to be respected or do I like to be appreciated? God. I guess appreciation. You can see that's measuring the thinking, feeling, cognitive functions. I am most comfortable when I can be prepared, spontaneous. See, once again, it's just like, if I was to, so if I was a work context and I had to go and deliver a talk, I like to be prepared. And yet when it comes down to it, sometimes I do the best when I'm spontaneous. But I think I actually do like to be a bit more prepared. When I meet someone new, I usually do most of the talking, do most of the listening. People say I'm a really good listener, and it gets abused sometimes. People will just I listen and people talk, and I really resent it sometimes. There are some contexts where I'll talk, but I think when I meet someone new, I'm really receptive and respectful of the other person. So, and I'll listen. I'm very compassionate. So 6, while knowing that everyone is a unique individual, deep down I feel like I am basically the same as most people, like there is something different about me compared to most people. I've always felt that I've been very different. 7, an argument with feeling has more effect on me than a cold, rational one. Has the same. No, an argument with feeling has more effect. Yes. I get a lot of satisfaction from, I hate this question. I get a lot of satisfaction from finishing projects and starting projects. And this is where they really mess it up. Because I'm the sort of person I start so many damn projects that when I get to complete something, I get a lot of satisfaction. And what it's measuring that judge or perceive thing. But it's just like, I get a lot of satisfaction from completing projects. But that's only because I start so many damn projects. So always starting new projects, but they say a lot of satisfaction from. Okay, we'll put down finishing projects. People would describe me as, my friends would describe me as being extroverted, but I describe myself as being introverted. And then it's which friends? It's which contexts? Okay, I guess. This is not good. It's measuring introversion, extroversion. People would describe me as outgoing, reserved. God. I can't answer that. I hate this. It's like, Jesus. People would describe me as, outgoing. It's not right, but anyway. It is better to be practical, inventive. Well, it depends on the damn context. It depends on the context. See, the questions are so stupid. It is better to be. It's a value judgment. It's better to be. It's like, what's the outcome? It's better to be practical. I have stronger social skills, analytical skills. Analytical. I wonder. I am more of a planner, improviser. No, plan. A lot of planning. I think best when I can, bounce my ideas off of someone else, work out my ideas internally before I share them with others. Yeah, I think I like to, but I do, and once I've thought about something, I do really like to, oh, okay, so they go, see, bounce my ideas. That's the extrovert, and this work out my ideas internally. This is the introversion. It's like, all right. I'd like to use and refine existing skills, pick up new skills. I can get bored once a skill is mastered. Sometimes once I learn how to do something, I want to move on and do something else. But I really do like to improve upon my skills. So, okay, so use and refine existing skills. For me, it is more interesting to know how people feel, how people think. Jeez. So obvious. At work, I would rather follow a plan, go with the flow. Follow a plan. It's got to be a good plan. I usually act first and think while I am acting. Think first. Think first. Think first. I am drawn to the realistic, the surrealistic. Okay, I guess it's surreal. It is more important to be tactful, truthful. Jeez. It's always contextualized. But it's like that thinking, feeling dimension. It's just like, I gotta be, it's better to be a bit tactful and then get around to being truthful. It's a real bummer, but anyway. I am most comfortable when things are settled and decided. My options are open. All right. Things settled, decided. Next. All right. Questions 2 of 3. Okay. Ask me a question and I will usually start talking to come up with an answer. Take the time to form an answer in my head before I respond. Well, take the time to form an answer. And if you see my videos, you'll see how I like to think before I talk. Which doesn't always make for the best presentation skills, but it's my personality. I'm usually more absorbed in things I can see, hear, feel, taste, or touch. My daydreams, thoughts, and imagination. Yes. Intuition, sensing. I tend to value compassion more than competence. Competence more than compassion. geez, what's the context? Compassion? If someone's really compassionate, or if somebody's really competent at something. So if I see someone and they're being really a very compassionate, kind, loving, empathetic person, do I value that, or do I value more the person's competency? In myself, do I value? I think I'm going to get really... I have to put down competence. I am sometimes accused of being too rigid, wishy-washy. No. No one's going to call me wishy-washy. God, that would be an insult. It is more difficult for me to be quiet, loud. Oh, come on. See, it depends on the context. Depends on the context. Well, actually, there are a lot of contexts, a lot of situations I go into, and I find myself talking, and then I apologize for talking so much. So I'm not quite sure whether that's the same. But I actually am a private person and I live by myself. It's weird, isn't it? It's more difficult for me to be quiet. All right. Given the opportunity, I'll take over the room, even though I'm a bloody introvert, not a quiet person. All right. Other people's extroversion shuts me down. Anyway. More tip. I'll do that. Okay, 26. I solve problems by grounding myself in the facts until I understand the problem. Jumping between different ideas, possibilities, and perspectives. I solve problems. Okay, I guess I do this one. Explore the relationships between things and ideas. Yeah. When interacting with others, I am friendly and have difficulty remaining businesslike. I am usually brief and businesslike. No, I have difficulty remaining businesslike and too damn friendly. Too friendly, too kind, too nice. 28. I try things that I am reasonably sure will work. I try things just to see what will happen. Oh, God. Let's give that a go. Let's just try it anyway. I know people like that say, let's just give it a go. Yeah, but well. Oh, when I was a kid, I used to make explosives when I was a teenager. You couldn't say that nowadays, but this is going back in the 60s, 70s. And I used just to make explosives just to see what would happen. All right, so I try things that I'm reasonably sure will work at this age of my life. I talk about the things most important to me whenever the subject comes up, only with those I trust. I talk about things most important to me. No, it's only with those. It's like I'm usually talking about something which is important to others. I have to really force the subject onto myself. I think rules and regulations are necessary, necessary for other people. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Just think of all those politicians out there. So I think rules and regulations are necessary for everyone. Yeah, I think you've got to have a bit of a structure and orderliness for everyone. I make most decisions guided by my feelings, based on logic and facts. Well, I think I make my decisions based on logic and facts. Yeah. I usually prefer to work at a steady pace in bursts. In bursts. Who wrote this? I usually prefer to work at a steady pace. What they mean by bursts of activity, steady pace. If I have to spend a lot of time alone, I will feel bored or depressed. Well, excuse me for swearing. If I have to spend a lot of time alone, what do you mean? Daytime, evenings, weekends. It's like, God, if I have to spend a lot of time alone, well, okay, not that I feel relaxed and refreshed, but I do need my private time. So 34, regardless of what other people say, deep down I feel that I am pretty normal. Now I feel kind of weird. Well, I'm normal, but I know that I'm different to other people. I'm different to other people. So I don't like their weird. But anyway, I value harmony and authenticity. Accuracy and effectiveness. Thinking, feeling, cognitive functions. It's like, yeah. Because on that thinking, feeling, I'm just about in the middle. You know, maybe just a bit more on the thinking, feeling. And it's just like, I value accuracy and effectiveness. So I was in a meeting the other day. And it's just like, I just had to go for a harmony. And it gets me into trouble, but I just got to have the harmony in the group. I would really like to actually to get into accuracy and effectiveness, but it's like in a situation with other people, there has to be the harmony. Otherwise, you can't get anything done. God. Actually, yeah, it's interesting because even in business too, it's like when I make my videos, it's like I have concerns about accuracy and stating the facts because I have difficulty dealing with the feelings. So I actually want to create harmony with my audience. I want to get that understanding there before we explore the facts and the logic. All right. So 36. I think best when my surroundings are clean and uncluttered. I do not have to follow a procedure. No, my surroundings are clean and uncluttered. So when I actually, say, film a video in my studio, I actually have like a list, which is in a Word document. And I go along and I just check it all off. Just make sure I've done each item so I don't forget anything. Sort of the only way to do things. And even though my office and the studio might look a bit messy to other people, it's actually orderly. It's an orderly mess. I prefer to engage or to observe. I really observe. I believe I'm a really good observer. I watch people. I just watch and I listen. Yeah. I'm usually more entertained by the reality of what is going on around me or my interpretation of what is going on around me. All right, so I'm looking at the reality. Well, if I'm out there in nature, I'm very much with that. It's just like, it's beautiful. But if it's people, I'm looking at how people are interacting with each other, and I'm checking out their personality types and listening to their language patterns, and I see how they respond to each other. So I guess that means it's my interpretation of what's going around me. Makes me an intuitor. I usually obey my heart more than my mind. Oh God, my mind more than my heart. Oh God. It would have been nice just to be able to follow your heart and just travel the world. Okay, my mind more than my heart. Okay, 40. I like to know what I am getting into. I like adapting to new situations. Yeah, I like to know what I'm getting into. Next. All right, not bad for a 10-minute test. So, see, this is where you'll find, like if you're an extremist type personality, you get through these tests really, really quickly, because it's just really easy. But if you're more centrist, more in the middle, between the introversion, extroversion, between thinking and feeling, judge and perceiver, more in the middle, you find it really challenging. Okay, when I am problem solving, I tend to think out loud, close my eyes to shut out distractions. I go lay on the bed, close my eyes, 5 minutes. A conversation about purely abstract ideas and theories is usually kind of annoying, totally energizing. Actually, well, it can be quite energizing if it's really good abstract ideas and theories. Like there was a book called, what was it called? Worlds in Collision by Manuel Velikovsky. It's just amazing. That was his idea that, anyway. Worlds in Collision. Okay. I believe feelings are always valid whether they make sense or not. It's like, come on, give me a break. Valid as long as they make sense. And this is bizarre. Who wrote this question? Yeah, feelings are okay, but you've got to qualify them. So the feeling's okay, it's a valid feeling. It's just like, yeah. No, okay, I see what they're asking. Feelings, my feelings. Feelings are just feelings. I take pride in being dependable, free-spirited. I guess it's dependable because when I have friends who say they'll be over at 2 o'clock and they arrive at 2 minutes to 2, I like that. And I do my best if I'm going to see a friend to be there. I like to get to appointments on time, and follow through. Dependable. If I go to the gym or library, I take the opportunity to interact with people. I find a place for myself and focus on my work. I really like to interact. Difficult in the library, gets you into trouble. Okay, under most circumstances, I naturally pay more attention to what is happening, what could be happening. I pay attention to what is happening, what could be happening. What do they mean, what could be happening? Do they mean what could happen? Consequences? Under most circumstances, I naturally pay more attention to what's actually happening. No, I guess it's what could I guess if they're asking future, it's what could happen. Because you might go, well, this is the situation right now. Everything's okay. I go, yeah, but what's the possible consequence? So, though I hope they're not asking if I'm projecting onto what I think's happening. I'm not projecting. Okay, I trust what my heart tells me, what my head tells me. I trust my heart. I'm naturally more organized, disorganized. Organized. See, some of them are quite easy. I prefer to discuss things with a group of people, one person at a time. One person at a time. A couple of weeks ago, as with a group of filmmakers, and there was just people were disagreeing with each other, and there was just a lack of harmony. And then afterwards, I was out in the street talking to one guy, and we had a really good conversation. So much easier to work with one person. When I need to do my best work, the feeling of inspiration is great. But if I do not feel inspired, it does not affect my ability to get things done right. When I need to do my best work, the feeling of inspiration is great. But if I do not feel inspired, the feeling of inspiration is vital. And if I do not feel inspired, it is very difficult for me to produce something I'm happy with. When I need to do my best work, the feeling of inspiration is essential. When I need to do my best, otherwise I can't get into a flow. 51. I tend to pay more attention to my emotions, my thoughts. I guess it's thoughts. I am more orderly, random. Orderly. Random. Who'd want to be random? Leading a random existence. Eating at random restaurants. Random relationships. It's like, yeah. Driving randomly. Browsing the internet randomly. Okay. When working, I love to be in the middle of the action, close my door and enjoy the quiet. When working, well, it depends. So when I was running a media training event, that's what I love, to be the center of the attention, in the middle of the action. But other times, like if I'm working at home, I just like to like the worst thing for me would be to work in a open office situation. When I saw that 20 years ago, I said, what are you guys doing? You know, these poor people and they just put them into one great big room, and they don't have any privacy, any personal space. It's horrible. Okay, 54. Sometimes I pay so much attention to the facts, either past or present, that I miss new possibilities. I think so much about new possibilities that I do not look at how to make them a reality. Past, present to future. I pay so much attention to the facts, past or present, that I miss possibilities. Oh, Jesus, I hate this. I think so much about new possibilities that I do not look at how to make them a reality. It's probably right. I could do this, this, and this, and this. But then how do you make it a reality? Oh, God. Oh, God, I hate it. I don't give it. It is worse. Oh, look at that, all uppercase. It is worse to be unsympathetic, biased. What? What? It's worth to be unsympathetic. I understand that. It's worth not to have sympathy. It's a negative. It's worse to be biased. It's like a negative. You go, that person's got a bias. That person's unsympathetic. You can't do that. They're asking a negative on one, unsympathetic. It's worse not to have, that person doesn't have sympathy. That person doesn't have sympathy. And that person has a bias, which is worse. Is it worse to be biased? No, you're allowed to have a bias. I don't understand that. Something's wrong with that question. They need to check that out. Brain doesn't get it. In general, I think people would benefit from more responsibility, spontaneity. People, which people? Actually, maybe a bit more responsibility. Actually, a responsibility. Whenever possible, I connect with people. This is great. Whenever possible, I avoid unnecessary interaction. And I like connecting with people at every opportunity. In everyday life, I often meet people that seem to see things the way I do. It is rare to meet someone that really seems to be on the same wavelength as me. I don't meet a lot of people. I work hard at that, but I do. A bit different. It is more important to be kind than fair. It is more important to be kind. Fairness and kindness. It's like, what are we talking about? A couple of puppy dogs? People? Which people are we talking about? What's the situation? It's more important to be kind. Be kind to someone, so at the club, be kind. Fairness. It's like it's his turn or something or other. No, I'm going to be kind. For appointments, I'm usually on time or early. Do my best. Next. All right, you're almost done. Tell us how closely the statements below fit you and then click submit to get your results. Where do you naturally focus your attention? I focus my attention on my inner world, on the outer world. Where do you focus your attention? I don't know, about there, I guess. Yeah, I'm not fucking highly. Where do I put my attention? It's probably about there. Stupid questions. What am I doing this? Comments. How do you naturally tend to see the world? I see the world in terms of possibilities, patterns and principles. I see the world in terms of what is real, concrete and specific. Well, there. Once again, comments. What is usually most important when you have to make a judgment call? I make most decisions by considering objective data, removing personal feelings and bias from the equation. When you have to make a judgment call, I make most decisions by considering objective data, removing personal feelings and bias from the equation. Or I make most decisions by considering how living things, including myself, other humans and animals, will feel as a result of my decision. It's going to stay in the middle. It can stay in the middle, leave it there. Where in your life do you prefer to have order and organization? I prefer to have my thoughts and feelings organized, which allows me to make split-second decisions and improve. Oh, great. I prefer to have my external environment ordered and organized, which gives me inner freedom and allows me to focus. Judge or perceiver. I prefer to have my external environment ordered and organized. So I look around me. It's pretty well. I like to have things organized. Then it gives me the freedom to move. Focus. Submit. This is going to. Okay, check your email. Okay, so I just checked my email, and guess what? I'm an INTJ. So I guess there's some consistency amongst these tests. INTJ. That's what I've scored over the years. I either score INTJ or maybe occasionally INFJ. So there you go. So I'll leave the link in the comments box below. Take the test. It'll probably be a lot faster for you. And if you're actually here right now listening to me, I thank you for actually sitting with me through this laborious test. But it's interesting, isn't it, how it can be really a challenge to make a decision between one or the other. Leave your comments in the box below. Let me know what results you got. I'm really interested to know what your personality type is. Like, what are the personality types of my audience, my subscriber base? And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.